Hey there, Latin 3 and Challenge Latin and AP Latin if you need to review. We are now talking about the accusative use of the gerunds and the gerundives. Now, there are three accusative uses of gerunds and gerundives. You've already run into two of them. Another one is really easy. It's just that there's a lot of different ways to kind of get these ideas across. So let's take a look at the easiest one that you already know. You've known since like chapter 3 in your book. It is the direct object. So it's as you'd expect, okay? So the lupa pueros lambendos amat. The she-wolf loves the licking boys. What kind of boys? The licking boys. And you can tell by the grammar that since lambendos is masculine and plural, that it must be a gerundive. So the she-wolf loves the licking boys, okay? Now, that's a direct object. Simple as that. The next one, lupa lambendum pueros amat. Now that's kind of interesting because you can have a direct object take another direct object because technically the first one is a verbal noun. And it is a verbal noun that does take a direct object because it's transitive, right? So the lupa, the she-wolf loves licking the boys. Now in English, we've got two slightly different sentences there, the licking boys versus licking the boys, and that gives it away for us. But honestly, I could have left the out. The she-wolf loves licking boys. The she-wolf loves licking boys. The difference there is the grammar. Again, Latin grammar for the win. So if you see it here, you'll notice that this is a verbal noun. There's nothing that it's modifying, right? So she loves the verbal noun that is licking, and that takes a direct object because it's the boys. So she loves the licking boys. In level 1, I would have said you just need to use the infinitive. She loves to lick the boys. That's also a very valid translation, to be perfectly honest. But that is the accusative of direct object for gerund and gerundive. The next one is actually the accusative of purpose. So we have the genitive of purpose, but we also have the accusative of purpose. So it only exists with the preposition odd. I've never seen it for anything else. And it translates very similar to the genitive of purpose. So if you need to, go back to the genitive of purpose. They serve the same purpose. So, lupa tiberum transiuit ad pueros lambendum, right? So the she-wolf crossed the Tiber to lick the boys. Now, technically, odd means to. It can also mean toward, right? So she crossed toward the purpose of licking the boys. And that's, in English, that's what we do with purpose. So now you've got three different ways to do a purpose clause. You could do it as a subjunctive with ut or ne, or you could use a genitive of purpose with causa or gratis, or you could use an accusative gerundive with gerund or gerundive with odd. So the next one, okay, the lupa adeis ducta erat ad pueros nutrandos. Again, it's all backwards for me, and my handwriting's terrible. The she-wolf had been led by the gods to nurse the boys. So she had been led to the boys who needed to be nursed, right? Because it's technically future and passive, but again, good English, to nurse the boys. But toward the boys who must be nursed. There's no good translation into English unless you just go straight into good English. But you'll notice that nutrandos is an accusative plural masculine. Since it's plural, since it's masculine, you know it's a gerundive. It's also modifying the pueros. That's why I color-coded it for you. But essentially in English, the she-wolf had been led by the gods to nurse the boys. So that is a gerundive of purpose using the accusative. The last one is one that you've already seen, and this is really going to upset you. The accusative as a subject in an indirect statement, which means that it's actually a obligation. So you'll only see this with gerundives. I haven't really seen... No, you could actually use a gerund for this too, I guess. But it's more often used with gerundives. But lupa scit pueros ei lambendos esse. The she-wolf knows that... accusative plus infinitive indirect statement, she should lick the boys, right? So the bad English, the she-wolf knows that there are licking boys for her, or there is a licking of boys for her, right? But in good English, she knows that she must lick the boys. Simple as that. Or she knows she must lick the boys. You can really strip it down, okay? Now, I have seen sentences that leave out the sum esse. Livy is famous for this. He'll write an entire paragraph in indirect statement without essays. And you just saw it at the beginning, and then you got to just keep going with it. You could also have left out the AE, because we don't need to have a dative of agent for a obligation to work. Please consult the video on the nominative, and then come back to this, because you'll see that structurally they're the exact same. And yes, she knew that there was a licking that must be done. So if we wanted, and I'm going to go ahead and erase, let's see, she knew that lambendum. So let's just put the there. So the she-wolf skeet lambendum esse. The she-wolf knows that she must lick, or that there is a licking. Or in other words, someone needs to be licked, that she should lick. So you could actually do that. That would actually work, okay? It still serves as an obligation. For instance, I know that I should stretch, right? I know that there is a stretching for me, and I could, there's a stretching of my back for me and stuff like that. So that's basically how it works. Rewind this a bunch of times, do a bunch of examples now, and then I'm going to show you the ablatives on the next video, and then I'll give you the assignments. Okay, I'm going to hit the button.